Very good question. Very good question. Again, philosophy of mind is not in any sense a specialty of mine. I have been particularly influenced by a number of writers, however, in that area. One of the first philosophers in graduate school that absolutely blew me away was a man named Gilbert Ryle, who wrote a book called The Concept of Mind. Very notable book and a very, very good book, I think. Others have as well. Pinker and any number of other writers have had their impact on me. But Ryle, who was basically an Aristotelian rather than a Platonist, and that's a complicated distinction, but just take my word for it for the moment. Ryle was not looking at philosophy in order to get some mysterious metaphysical answer to his questions. He was, again, doing good, hard-nosed analytic work. And he invented an idea, I think it was original with him, and it's a very Aristotelian notion, that we, in order to understand something, well, Aristotle used to say you needed to know its efficient cause, its formal cause, its final cause, and its material cause. What Aristotle meant by that was it wasn't enough to understand something to know what it was made of, material cause. You also had to know how was it structured, formal cause. You also needed to know what triggered it, efficient cause. And I've left one out, final cause. What's its destiny? Well, Ryle focused in on material and structural and said the whole crazy chase after the nature of the mind, starting long before Descartes but culminating in Descartes, is guilty of a category mistake. They're asking the wrong question. They're trying to sort it out in the wrong category. And he gave many, many examples, but I'll give you two. Young man goes downtown on Memorial Day, Remembrance Day as they called it over there, and to see the parade. And he came home disappointed, and he said, well, I saw 7 marching bands, and I saw company after company of soldiers, and I saw floats. But where was the parade? Another young man goes off to university and arrives at Oxford, of course, and writes home puzzled. I've seen the Bodleian Library, and I've seen New College, and I've seen this, and I've been there, but where's the university? And Ryle makes the point that the parade is not one more marching unit that you have to look for, especially it's not one little teeny tiny one that's hard to find. The university is not one more thing. The university is how all those things are put together. The parade is how all those things are put together. It says the mind, that's how the human being is put together. It involves matter being structured in a highly, highly functional and productive way. He says, so we don't need mind and nous. What we need is, we don't need matter and nous. What we need is matter organized in a particular way. My addition on that is you could use clay to make bricks. You could also use the same material to make computer chips. And it isn't a difference in the material, it's the difference in what you do and how you do it. So to my mind, the intellect, reason, the mind is the way we talk about the complex organization of humans and some non-humans as well. Reason is one of the many, many functions that the mind can carry out by associating and remembering and recognizing similarities and patterns and hypothesizing and experimenting to confirm and test and disprove or confirm the hypotheses they formed, all of those things in a kind of a rolling process, which we call science. That's what the mind is, and that's what reason is, and it's not some mysterious thing floating around out there in the ether. It's something that goes on. Now, that has interesting implications religiously. And I know I'm way out of cycle here, but just one comment in that direction. As Aristotle pointed out, when the structure of a thing is dissolved and the structure is gone, you might still have the unstructured material, but you don't have the thing anymore. It's gone. So it is not easy, and this is really a much more theological topic, but it's not easy to work with a really functionalist Riley, and Ryle called it operational behaviorism. Everything was operationally defined. It's not easy to work with that kind of concept of the mind and the intellect and so on, and hang on to any traditional notion of immortality or the world to come or winging our way to some ethereal place on high, et cetera, et cetera. But there are ways to deal with that, which we may or may not get to.